All right, so where do I stop? npm run dev. We started with this our project. Let me bring out the files. All right. Let's set up our color for the project and tailwind. So yeah, we're going to define our. So I'm going to use actually what's that? So base. Under this layer base, I'm going to be talking about the roots. I'll move this one to under it. So layer, we can see that at the top here, they define some layer. So you have the base utilities for base, the component, and utilities. Then we separate all its classes based on this thing. Base means these are normal HTML, whatever stuff. Components are some of these classes that are generated for you that are related to component stuff, which is on their site. You're going to see what is called component. And for these utilities, there are some other styles too that are generated under it. So you can move any of this into that base there. So under the root, I want to set up all these colors. So for this one, I will just copy it. This is what we need. So just copy this stuff like this. So we set up the color for purple like this. So the next one we have is this color. Get everything and set up the variable. And we talk to Tim to be using all this value anytime we talk about all these things. So yeah, don't forget you need to change it to color. And this one needs to be like this. So it's going to take it off. So for this one, it's going to be navy like this. But I'm supposed to be passing it so that I don't do this work twice. Supposed to be passing it to Tailwind there because we still need to pass it to Tailwind, which I'm going to move this thing to one side so that we can see each one of them at a time. So let me expand this in. This is the advantage of a small screen. So at the moment I'm using the other laptop now, there will be more space there. So we have under the colors and so instead of it to be primary, it's going to be. But then we actually have purple before. So then we has purple. So that's why I don't want to use that purple name. So it's going to be primary. So anytime you call primary, it's going to be this purple like this. So that's what. So that I'm using file so that it will come in and pick it up. So if I want, I can just copy this color, paste it in there. But I'm doing it in this way. So anyone, it's either you copy this color like this, pass it here, and you name whatever you want, or you define the variable here and you do the stuff. So anyone, so for the this one I know their name. I don't think they will have all this one. So I'm going to be using this name. But when you are dealing with objects, you can't use iPhone. As you can see, it's complaining already. You can't use iPhone, so you need to remove it like this, and you pass over this one in between. CSS will accept it, but this one will not. So the other one is this navy. I think Temi has navy. I don't know. Let me check. They have navy, so we can use this. I don't think they have navy. So Temi doesn't have navy. So if they have anything they have, it will show you once you type this stuff. And as you can see, it's not coming out like that. So Temi doesn't have navy like that. But if we go back there and type purple, they have purple. So they have purple come outside. Can you see now that is uh, so they have purple. So if I press enter, can you see that's purple. Or you can even use their own purple self because you can see it will generate or it will do it super out. So you can see it will generate range of value. So this shade starting from 950 all the way to 50. It's still purple, but it's generating different shade. The light and the dark and the normal. The normal one is the 500. So when you measure purple, so the normal one is 500. But above it, it's giving you the dark version. Below it, it's giving you the sun. It's giving you the light version. So that's how it generates all its colors. That's how it generates it. So it will give you those shades. Where is this one? So the dark navy blue. So let's continue. Let's set up the remaining one. Okay, this navy. I need to set up this navy too. Like this. I'll just copy this one and come here. So you can't put all this in for because this is JavaScript. Whatever you are doing here is JavaScript. Oh, it can't work like this. So the way I'm doing yes, but this was supposed to be here. So which other one that this one? What's the name? The name is this gray. Tailwind to have this is gray navy, so the name are not the same. So for here, we just need to define the stuff, pass the stuff, then we'll copy this name, copy the name, pass it here, then pass it here. But we need to remove this one. So anytime we call this gray navy, this is what it's going to give us. Like that. So the other one, is there anything by that side? That's not all. So for this one, it is known as this light bluish. So copy, come here, like that. Come on, come on. So the other one I just need is this name. So I don't want to do too much of work. Copy this one, paste, paste it for this one, and here remove the stuff. Provide JavaScript. So the next one, and once all this thing are set up, it's just one time setup. So you are not doing. So the other one is this, which is this. So that's your let's say just one time setup for your project. So what's done. Let me don't want to add all this unnecessary stuff to the video. So let me pause it. And once we do all the setup, we just come back. Alright, so the color has been set up. We have this app purple. I've changed some stuff here. We are putting it before inside this place, but I've removed it so that you can see the color that the tailwind is showing there. So save the code like this. So go back into the app. So this one will not show again because we don't have anything like permanent. What we have now is app purple. So we need that one, just say app purple or any other one. And this one we're using app because it doesn't clash with the tailwind purple. If you don't want the tailwind color, you don't need to use extend. You just pat it under the themes directly and it will remove any tailwind that is there. But we don't want to have two purple in the system. So that's why we are adding app. So the same thing with the red and green. So we have the app and the back. So just specify that it's our own, not the tailwind green. So we've done with the color setup there. So our color is there. So what do we need to set up now? We need to set up the routing. So we need to set up the routing, and I think yesterday we had routes. Yeah, we've added this. We had a router done there. So we need to set up a routing. And if you look at the application we are trying to build, there are three major pages there like that. So that page where you are going to pick the quiz that you want to answer there, and at the same time we have where you are going to answer the question. And when you are done, we have a page where you see the results. So those are the three pages. All this one here is just one page. What you are changing is the question based on the button like that, the submit button you are clicking there, and the thing will keep increasing. So all these things they are not different. It's just one page. But you are switching the question based on the one they need. So once you start on one, so once you click on submit, it will go to the second one, the third one, and so forth like that. And these are what is going to happen for this kind of stuff like that. So when they pick the answer, this is when you pick the answer, the user pick the answer. When they click on the button, when they submit the stuff, you can see when you submit the answer. After you submit, the button will change to next. After it show them the results of what they pick. And when it's done, then when you click on next, it will go to next question. But if whatever you pick is wrong, this is what you pick. This is what you pick, but this is the correct answer. So it will show next. This thing is actually happening, all this is happening depending on the state. So this state here is when the user pick the correct answer. When you click on submit. This state is when the user pick wrong answer. So yeah, this is the answer you pick. The one that show this mark is what you pick. But this is what you pick, right? This is what you pick. But the correct answer is actually this one. So the same thing too, there's a state where you did not even select anything and you submit. So when you don't pick anything else, the error here will come aside like that. So which means everything is still happening on this page, just that you have different states that your UI can be for this particular page. So this is where a lot of work like that, because that's where we'll be focusing more. But this side is just to aggregate your score, because as you are submitting, you did notice the one that you pick that is right and the one that you pick that is wrong. You only need to track one. Then you know the total number of questions, you just subtract it for it to get the other one. So you know, yeah, now since your score is 8 here, we know that you missed 2 questions there already. So we didn't need to start keeping track. But if you look at it for every page that we're going to have, you see that this one is always there. So which means this is like a layout. We're going to have a layout. That layout now is going to have this header, and inside it is now going to have our this thing there. It's going to have our outlet. So if you look at it now, this is the page. For every page, we are going to have something like this. So we have this header inside our layout. Then from there, you now have the outlet. So whatever you place, whatever that inside the this is what is going to be changing. This one is not changing at all like that. And if you look at it, if you go to this side, is now coming out. Anytime you select a question, it will display the question you want on the header. Like the question you are currently answering there, it will display at the header. But if you are on the home page, as you can see, nothing will be displayed at that place. So which means you need like a state that keep tracking of whether you have a particular question you are solving at the moment or not. So we are going to deal with all this one. But first, we need to be able to handle the setup for our layout. So we need a single layout because all of them is just one layout that is there. The difference there is that, as you can see, when you can see, it's still showing all this. Even when you're on the complete page, it's showing the question that you answer. And when you click on try again, you know, it will go back to that first page. And when it's on that first page, you know, you've not selected anything. So this one will wipe off. The only thing you just see at the top is this section. But once you pick any one of them here, it will come to that page, and at the top, it will show the actual question that we pick. It will show the name. Don't forget we have the data for all these things. So we need to have our context. We are still going to use context here, so that any page that need this thing can just go to that context and pick what they need. Not that we'll be passing props down. We're not going to send any props where we don't need it. The only place we are going to send that props is for all this one. But anything that deals with something that is being used across from different pages is going to be in our store. And from the store, any component that needs or any page that needs anything will go there, or the layout tool will go there and display what it needs to display, whether that thing is available. So which means here now we need to set up our layouts there. Let me delete this one. We don't need it because what we are using is that available. So we're not using this static one. All this one too, I don't need them. So let me delete anything that we're not using so that you don't add unnecessary file size to our deployment later on. So this is what we just need. These are the only two things we need under this place. So for the images, these are what we need there like that we're going to be dealing with. So under this place, let's set also we're going to have our components. Under the components, you know that circle that you're clicking on. So we're going to create it here. Apart from that, we need to have our layouts. So it's just one layout that we have in the system. And apart from this, we need to have our pages. And you know that we have 3 pages. So here under the pages, we have the home page, which is where you select the question. So JSX like this. So RAFC to set up this stuff. So we have the home page. So save. Apart from the home page, we have the quiz page like this. That's where you actually see the quiz that you want to take. So GSX, so this one too, RAFCE to set up the, and as you can see that I'm not creating the style. It's because we want to use table. You know you'll be using class, so you don't need to stack any CSS for it. You just be using table directly like that. So all this one we don't need it at the top of import. So for the home page too, remove this stuff like this package of JSON. I don't need it for now. This table config, I don't think I need it again. We'll set up whatever we need to do here and like that. So which other page we need? So we need a results page. So results, no, something is wrong here. Results page of JSX. You look at this one, I use small letter for this one. REFC, everything should balance. So remove this one at the top, we don't need it. So here I will need to change this name. So delete like this. So regret and that. This is why I delete it. I did not just change because of the way window used to be. Capital letter and small letter are the same thing to window. So you might not recognize this also. This one is going to be one page because I want all of the naming pattern to be the same. So that's why I'm just, it's not a must, so nothing concern React about that, but I want the naming to be the same. So this home page now, who asks you to name it small letter like this? Some tools should be like this, like that. So delete this one, we don't need it. Save. So the next thing we need to do now inside this our app.jsx, we need to set up our routing, and you know the gist already. It's just the same thing we follow. So first, we need to create our router or route, anyone you want to call it. So create browser router there like that. Come outside, yeah. So we need to create our router. Inside this line, we define what we want. So any parts, when you go to the slash here, what we want to show, so the element is going to be this home page. What's going on? So the element is going to be one page. So anytime you go to the slash, this is what we want to show like that. But don't forget there's a layout for all of them. So I need to put everything inside layout first. So I need to put everything inside layout. So let me define the layout first so that it makes sense. So we're going to have our app layout.css like this. So RAFCE. So RAFCE, like this is the app layout by default. So save. Then go back to this place. So what do we want to do? What we want to do here is that we can't just use this element like that. So what we want to do here is to have app layout. But what do we need to do now so that we can have the other one? That's where children comes in. That's our nested routing now. So under these children, we are going to have the index is true. So which means anytime you're on this slash and you did not mention anything, this is the stuff you want to show under it. Like that. And what do we want to show? So the element is going to be this home page like that. But anytime you go to slash quiz, so anytime you go to parts, anytime you go to quiz, but we need to know the type of quiz you are taking to. But in case you want to be like that, but for now, let me just make it simple for now. So anytime you go to slash quiz, so the element we want to show is going to be quiz page like this. And anytime you go to slash results, so results no parts result like this. Anytime you go to this part, what do we want to show? We want to show that our results page. But what if you now go to any page that we don't know about? So what if you go to any other page we don't know about? So we need to set up this. Well, for now, let me forget about it. We can come back to it later on. So which the 404 page. That's not the major stuff right now. So delete all this one, remove this div, I don't need it. So remove this div. So under this one now, we have our router provider like this. So where's the router? Then provide the router like this. That's all. So save and go back to the page. What we should be seeing there is the content from our layout because we don't use applet. So the only time it will show home page, quiz page is when you provide outlet, yes. But right now we've not provided anything like that. So if you go back to the home page, you see that what you are seeing is that no, this is not our app. We load the page because we remove all this. So what's going on? So let me open the dev tools. Still loading. Is the server not running? Oh, it's K1. K1 is telling that it does not detect any stuff. But for now, let it load. So it's loading. Yeah, as you can see now, we have the app layout there because we've not used any applet. So in order for you to show what is under it, don't forget the design. The design is this, there like that. We are going to have the layout is the one that owns all this. Like all this background you are seeing here is the layout that owns everything. under the layout, we have the header section. So we have the header section. Header section is what is showing is the toggle for our light or dark mode. And at the same time, too, we have the quiz name by the left. And when you're on the quiz page, or when there is a quiz that is set up, it will show it. When there is no quiz that is set up, it doesn't show. You can see it's showing the quiz name and the icon for it because the icon will match. When we're on the CSS quiz, this is the icon will show. When we're on the JavaScript, this is the icon will show. When we're on the access, that's why you see that this icon is coming out here. So it needs to change based on the type of the quiz that you are working with. We need to set up all this in our context later on. But first, we are setting up the layout. So inside our layout here, we're going to have the header. Header is where we have our toggle and the quiz name. Then apart from that, we are going to have this main. So inside this main now, that's where we now show our outlets like this. So which means whatever page you are currently on, just come out under this like that. So everything here is what is going to have the main. So if you go back to that page now, you see that at the top we have the header and it's showing the home. But I did not put anything inside the header, that's why it did not show it. But if I put something there, for example now, header like this, as you can see, it will always be there for every page. And from home page, we can go to the other pages. For example, here, instead of having just home page like this, so what we can do, we go to next line, have another div. Inside this div, we can have our link. All these things we've talked about them before, so I don't need to be. But it's the same thing. Then we have to. Where are we going to? We are going to slash quiz like that. So this is going to take us to the quiz page for now, but this is not the way we're supposed to go to the quiz page. So the other one is going to be results page. But there's some stuff that must be said before you can go to all these pages. So you need to pick the questions. You need to pick the type of the quiz you want to do before you pay. But for now, for us to see that this is actually working. So we have the quiz and we have this one can be quiz, so we should be results. So now you can click on any of the link here. So if you click on quiz page, as you can see now, you see that the header is still here, but it's changing the content inside the outlet. Same thing too, if you click on results, the header is there, but it's showing the results page. So now we need to work on the styling for the layout that we have. Because if you look at the layout now, it has a background there. So the layout, the background that you click on it, and Figma will show you what is going on with that page. As you can see, the background is this what light gray. But don't forget, we have two modes. We have the dark mode and we have the light mode. So when you're in light mode, this is the background you need to use, that light gray. And when you're in dark mode, as you can see here, once you click on this one too, it will can see now. So when you're in dark mode, the background is dark gray. But when you're in light mode, the background is light gray. So how do you talk to people to use this color for dark and to use that color for light? It's quite simple. So here, like this. Even this thing, we can actually set it on, even instead of doing it here, we can do it directly from the CSS here. But I think I will do it from this so that you can see it's working from here. So here, we need to set the class name. So start passing whatever classes you want. So to set background, we use BG. So in Tailwind, to set background, what you mention is BG, then followed by hyphen and followed by whatever property on the background you want. It's the color we want. So mention the name of the color. And the one we want is this light. You can see light gray. So this is what you are telling Tailwind now. This background now is what you always use, whether it's on the light or it's on the dark. But if you now want to talk to it that use this one for light and use another thing for dark. So after this one, we are going to mention dark, colon, then followed by the property you want to, or the one you want to use. So here now we are going to use BG, and that is going to be this dark gray. Is that not what we call it? That means we did not copy dark gray. So it's not showing from the statement. Because anything we copy, we put it, that's what it's going to do. So we have, is it dark navy? Is that what we call it? Okay, this dark navy, not dark gray. Kind of dark navy. So dark navy, yeah, this is it. So what you are saying here is that Tailwind, anytime the user is using dark theme, this is the background you want to use for this theme. But when they are not using dark theme, this is the background you want to use. If you want to do this thing using normal this thing, look at what you have to do. You have to call this media query. Inside it, you now call this preferred color scheme. Yeah. This is how you are going to do it when you are dealing with normal CSS. So this simple line that you just type here, this is what you have to do in CSS. See how simple it is compared. Once you are used to this stay with, you will not even want to go to normal CSS again because it will simplify a lot of things. But you need to know about CSS first before you start using things. And that's why we talk about normal CSS. But now we want to simplify a lot of things. We don't want to do too much of work because our goal is on the application we are trying to build, not the tooling that we are using to build the application. So here now, see, on my system, I'm going to use that by now because we have two type of mode. Can you see now that it's using that column? Because my system is set to dark. So if I go back to my system, I think it's under display. I think, let me go to the system. So let me go to the system. Let me reduce the stuff. But my system is using dark already. So where is it? I think it's under place personalization, like that. So scroll down to where you set the theme. Yeah. So where are you? Yeah. Can you see dark? If I want, I can change it to. I want lights. Should I change? But we don't want it like this because the one we are doing right now is the one that is depending on the system. It will work on mobile phone too. You know, mobile phone you can change light and that. It will work there too. It will detect the system theme. Based on that theme, Tailwind will do whatever it needs to do. See that we don't need to do it like we do not do any JavaScript stuff. But we want it to go more than this because we want the user to be able to toggle this stuff. So we have to go extra mile. With this one, if we want to depend on the system, this one will work. But we don't want to just do this one. So yeah, we can actually tell it because there it have what is known as media. Yeah, the dark mode like that. So it have media and it have class. Media is what we are using currently. Media means depend on whatever the system is using. But that's not what we want. The one we want is the one that is depending on class. So which means on the body, for that one to work, you have to be adding dark mode, you have to be having dark or remove dark on the body before it works. When you're using the other, the media now is depending that is using that media query. So that's what you're using. And you can't just change it because it's depending on your system. It's your system that can decide whether it is the light or the dark. But we want to be able to use the two of them together. So you can do it too if you want to do that. I think we are going to attend to that by the end of the stuff. But for now, I'll change this. I don't like lighting. So I'll change this my stuff back to the dark. And as you can see, it is sweet. But there is a problem. You see that this thing did not cover up the entire screen. That's the reason I want to put it on the body before. And we need to solve that problem here. The reason it's like this is because your body, don't forget the body only stop at this side. Before when you're doing all this body stuff, we used to put minimum height of 100 here. This one did not set that minimum height for you. So if you want, you can do it there by just min age screen like this. So as you can see, minimum height 100 VH. That's it. How this is the class. But behind the scene, what is just going to set is this minimum height of 100. So what you just say mean this thing is going to set it up, but it's not going. Why is it not going? It will not go because if you go to your HTML, can you see that there is this Momo div there, which is this root? This is where React is putting everything. This is what you are talking to. But where the content is this side. So we need to talk to this one too that it should have all this what we are applying to this body. So here now, this roots of the thing like that. So we have this apply and why I did not see it like that. So let me inspect my code. I think this one did not have height. The height is supposed to be 100%. But let me check this one first. So let me see the So all this one will fix this. We fix this one already. Because if I remove this one like this and go back, even it's having it, can you see the body is here? But that's not where I want my body to be. So just take it off and go back, Ctrl Z. Then let's go back into that place, which is the layout, because we need to talk to that one to cover up the entire screen. So as you can see here, we did not talk about the height. So the height should just be no, where's that? So when you want to talk about height, it's age. So age is height. But now all this number, there are some number that they will set up. Zero, as you can see, height is 0 pixels. Behind the scene. But when you say one is the same thing as 0.25 adding. When you say two, it will increase the value. So you see now it's 0.5. So when you do 3, 0.75. Anyway, you are seeing iPhone 3, the value is always this 0.75. Whether it is height or width, it's always the same thing. So which means if I use W here, W is width, and you put it, so you go to that 3, you see that it's the same value. Their value is always consistent, like it's always the same thing. So that's why their system is always easy to build application that looks you know join together like that because whatever number you be using, if you are using tailwind system, we are using their number. The number is always the same across. So the 3 for W is the same thing for 3 for H, is the same thing for any other property that is using number in front of them. So 0 is always this, 1 is always 0.25, 2 is always 0.5, 3 is always 0.75, 4 is always 1 rm, 5 is always 1.25, and 8. So this number is always the same thing for all those provided. But W is for width. So if you want to change any other, the H is for height like that. And if you need anything like all those min, max, you mention those one first. So if I need minimum width, I'll just mean WH like this. Like as you can see, it will give me minimum width. Can you see that the same? It still is still saying 0.75. The number is always the same value, or you are calling a separate property, which make your design to look nice because the system is the same. Not that you are using 0.5 somewhere, and in the other place you are not using 0.5, which is now different. So here 3 is always, whenever you call 3, is always is 0.75 like that. So this one, the height, let's use the height of since this one is a layout, and I don't think this with this thing going out of the page. Let me look at the design, but it's not even, I don't think it will go out of the mobile. So let me just use the same thing to here. This one too should just add minimal height of screen. Screen is just talking about don't forget all this VH or this thing are talking about screen, not the percentage. So save this one, go back to the page, and we should see it now that it has covered up the entire. But if the something is going more than the screen, it will expand. That's why we say min, because on the mobile screen, there's no you said everything will fit into that screen. So you have to use min, not I over 100 VH. Because if you do it, anything that goes outside of it, you will not see that background again. It start showing white. But we don't want it to be like that when we are dealing with mobile. So yeah, the color too are different. So let's talk about the header section. What is so let's talk about the header section too, like that. So on the header, that's why you need mouse now. Where's my UI? With mouse, it's easy to move around a feedback, but this cool stuff, it will take you a lot of that. So now let's focus on the header section. So if you look at the header section, this is what we need to have. So we have this toggle, and we have this the question this thing. So I'm not going to put them here. That's why we have the component. So anything that we need, we're going to be creating component for them. So we need to create a component for this, and we need to create a component for this question title like this, because you see that it have icon, it have the background on the back of the icon, and it have the text. And if you look at it here, what is here is the same thing as what is here. So that means we need to reuse that stuff. So since we need to reuse it, we need to create the icon for the question type. So we need to create a component. Again, we need to create a component that will now put the two of them together. So there's going to be another component too for this, but it's using the component that we're going to use it. But if you don't do it like that, what you did here, you are still going to do on this side. So since you see that this thing is being used in different places, you create a component for it. So let's create a component for that first. Here inside the header, let's lay out the header. So inside the header, we're going to have this left side. So under the left side, that's where you have the quiz title, the quiz. Then on the right side of this, I'm just calling it right because no, there's no class for that. So we are going to do all this thing from table here. So we're not going to use this right. I will remove it later. Let me know remove it because it's not part of table. So yeah, what are we going to have there? We are going to have our toggle, which is what that is talking the mode, the light and dark mode. So I'll call it this light slash dark mode toggle like that. But it's going to be a component. That's why I'm using this text. We are going to replace them. But what do we want to do? We want them to be side by side. But let me look at it is on mobile. Because don't forget, Tailwind, whatever you are typing there, it always assume you are dealing with mobile too. So that the way it used to be, then you can now mention media query to expand on a desktop. So let's look at the way it is on mobile. Are they placed side by side or they are placed on top of each other? So this is the tablet. I can see on the tablet they are placed side by side. So we know that on the mobile, let me see what is happening on the, yeah, they are still together. So which means whether on the mobile or tablet or desktop, it's still side by side. So how do you do something like that in Tailwind? Because what you want to do here is that you want to move this your quiz title on this side, and you want to move the toggle to the other side, which means we need to display it as flex, the appearance as flex. Then we justify content space between and we align center. So how do you do all this thing? You know how to do it from your normal CSS, but how do you do it with Tailwind? So to do the same thing, Tailwind, this to display as flex in Tailwind, this is how to display as flex. So to display as flex in Tailwind, just mention flex. So this one now it will generate display of flex. So this is a class, and that class will generate this CSS. So how do we align them to center? So when you want to align, this one is calling it items. So the name of this one is different. So it's called them items, not align items. So you just pick the last one, and that's what it's calling items. So anywhere you see items, just know that it's align items. But what are you doing with it? You know, this is align item start, align items end, align item center, align item baseline, align item missing. But what we want to use is center. So we want to move it to center like this. So if you check it, you see that that's what is generating for us. So align items center. So we want to justify. So this one, you use that name too. Just justify. So but justify which one? So you can see it have the normal, it have the style, end, center, but the one we need is this between because we want to space them. So save it now. As you can see, it's going to do what we're expecting it to do. But there's supposed to be padding. The thing is not supposed to jam packed together. But if you look at the design that we have, look at the desktop. Look at the desktop. It looks like it's up at a particular width. Yeah. And this is a big screen of 1440. But if you look at everything that they stop at a particular width, is that it did not touch the edge. So this one is what we call container, which is something that we normally create. That we said max width, it should be 1000 whatever. So then we actually have it out of the box. So that you do and create it yourself. This is it here. This is what we call container, and it have the setting that is using by default for the container. So on the small screen, it will take 100% of the width. On the small, I think on the tablet, it's using around that 700 or so. On the base screen, so it keep increasing the value, but it will never touch the edge there. So we can use it to move. But you never move them to. You know, when you say the max width should be this so stuff, you need to use your margin inline auto. It support all this thing, but it doesn't do it. That one it doesn't do it out of the box for us. Because for example, here now, if I come here to the parent itself, so we can use this. We can just use a container like this because it's going to affect the content too. So not just the header, it will affect the header and the layout that we are or the content or the page that we are working on. So since it's going to affect the two of them, so why not put it on the parent instead of putting on each one of them one by one like this. So save. So this thing is not going to do what we're expecting it to do. It's not going to do what we're expecting it to do. So go back to, can you see what is happening? So this is not what I want. So what we can do here is that move these two in another container. So this one I'm going to have another div. So this is one that will now have the container. The one at the top we apply background. Why this one will not be the one that will apply container. So it will now look as if everything is inside that one. You see what I'm trying to say now. So remove this one. Because if you apply it on this one, that background too, it will not get to the end. But we don't want it to be like this. So remove it from here. There's another container here. So this container will be the one that will now have. Can you see that? So now the first one here, this first one, apply the background. But inside it, we are creating a nested one. So that one is one that will not have the container. You know, that one did not have background. So the user will not even see that kind of but we need to make sure that it is centered, not that it's so what we can do here, how do you do margin inline for tailwind? To do margin inline, so to do margin it is M is margin, P is padding. You can see the way they pick the name, it's coming from the property. So when you say P, you are changing the padding around everything. When you say M, you are changing the margin around everything. When you say empty, you are only changing the margin top. When you say MB, you are only changing the margin bottom. When you say ML, you are only changing the margin left. MR, margin right. But what we got to do top and bottom, we have Y. Anywhere you see Y, just know that it's talking about top and bottom. Anywhere you see X, it's talking about left and right. See that tailwind is really kind of it's simple. Once you are used to it, it's simple. So we want to use this MX auto now, which means margin left and right auto. So if you save it now, it will distribute that space on left. And we want to, because on the small screen, it will not look good. Because can you see where there is on the small screen, it doesn't know it's using 100% already. So we need to apply padding there too. So I can tell you that on the small screen is when it's going to use the padding. But by default, anything you are doing here is from small screen above. So if I use PX, that's P left and right. So this is going to be maybe 5, which is around that, or let me use 4, which is 1 REM. So if we use it now, as you can see, to leave this stuff. But I don't want you to do it on a bigger screen. So now I can do MD, then PX now, Z. On a small screen, from 0 screen, all the way to this 768, I want you to be using padding on the left and right for 1 REM. But once you get to this big screen, as you can see, it will. Can you see that it generates the media query? So MD here is just doing this thing behind the scene. MD is going to generate this media query. Then whatever that follows it is whatever CSS you want to apply inside that media query. So on a medium screen, our PX is going to, because we already have the space. Because when you're on this tablet, as you can see, that space is there, but it's not using the 100% of it. So that space is there already. So why do we need to add? Oh no, let me see. Let me save the code. Yeah, no, it will not work. MD2 is using 100, so which means I need to go up. So since it's not working for MD, then what I need to use now, there's another media query, what 1024 that we normally do. So how do you do it there? It's known as LG, which is large. So this is a media query for 1024. So apart from this, we have XL. This is another media query. You can see 1280. You can even add your own. If the tailwind own is not satisfied, you go to that place and you set up the screen and you mention what you want to use for it. So here we have 2XL. I think this is 1536. Or I think that's the highest. Yeah, that's the highest. So anything that is not there, when you go there, it will not show. It means what you are doing here now, tailwind doesn't know what is going on there. Like that. So you can actually create your own that it's going to set that 3XL. But for now, for the large, I don't want to have anything because on the last screen, there is also we already have the space. So when you go to this 1024, like that, container, what is it using there? Has it changed? Because now it's still giving me, it's using 100%. Let me check the CSS for the container. What is it generating for us? Container, this is it here. So you see that it will generate all the media query we're expecting it to generate there. As you can see, it's using this, but what is the container doing? Yeah, this container. No, it will not work too. Let me just leave it like this. Let's just add the padding straight forward because on the last screen too, it's using that 1240. But if you go to a bigger screen, but this screen cannot emulate that base screen because this screen is actually 1024. And if you want to use it to emulate a bigger screen, can see say 1024, you cannot emulate it as 100% because you are using some space already. But as me, it's my own screen now. My own is 1920. So it can emulate all those 1440, 1000, whatever stuff at 100%. But this one cannot emulate this thing at 100%. So because the screen is 1440, from here to here is 1040. So all this space that you're using, you need to account for them. So it can only emulate 75%. So like that. Which means when you are designing and you want to emulate a bigger screen, it will not give you the full stuff. As you can see, you're only seeing 60% of that screen, but still you can still see the feel of it. But that doesn't mean it is 100% correct. It is only 60% correct. So, but you still see it, but those that is not giving you the entire stuff like that. So this is what we need, and what do we need to do? There, let's quickly create this. Oh no, what's time? I need to stop. So the next class here, we'll continue and do all this stuff here. Like let me see anything we can quickly touch. Because all this other one, it will take because all this thing now we need to add JavaScript into it. Double this stuff. But we need to add a state. The state will check whether the state will either have light or dark or true or false, depending on what you want to use. So when it is light, the this thing will be here. When it is dark, it will shift to that place. So we are going to see how to apply the CSS based on that state that the thing is holding there like that. And this icon we have them already, so they are part of the project. So we don't need to start looking for all the. But assuming the project, the icon are not part of the project, so to export any assets. So what you do is click on the assets that you want to export out. If you come here now, can you see? It will show the assets. So it's telling you that it's an asset. So you just click on that. Well, you can specify the type here. So is it PNG one you want or JPEG? But the one you usually go with is SVG. Enter you're dealing with icon so that you can expand anyhow. Because when you're dealing with PNG or JPEG, you can't expand them more than the size that they are designed for. If you expand them, it will lose the quality. There like that. But with SVG, if you like, expand it anyhow you want. It will always maintain the quality. So when you want to export any of your assets, just click on that asset. You come down to this side, scroll down, you are going to see the asset. Just click on the download. It will download it for you like that. So with this one, you click on it, you can see that switch. And if you click on download like this, it will download the asset like that. So you click on this one too, like that, and you click on download, then it will download the asset. Then you can now move it into your project. But we don't need to do this because we already have all the images. As you can see, they are here. So all these icon, can use icon moonlight, icon moon dark. So this is the icon we are going to use when we get to that part. We can even quickly clear the component down for now. So under the component, we need to create this. Let me create the file. So it's going to be which name can I even call it? Uh, Let me call it screen mode. Toggle like this. So screen mode toggle, which is going to be JSX. Then from there, we can quickly create the layout for it. So RAFCE like this. Don't forget the stuff that we're trying to build. Is it here? So let me move it to one side. Just do the layout down. Then in the next class, we'll work on it. So look at it. This is what we want to build. And then we look at why this one always goes come by here. So what we want to build is this is our screen mode toggle. But inside it, as you can see, there are three things here. We have this image, we have this one on the other side. Then at the middle, we have this container. Inside this container, you now have this circle. So this is what we need to create. So here now we have we're going to inside it, we already have this entire box. So on the left, we have this image, and this image is coming from where? It's coming from this our public here under the images. So images, what am I? What is it that? So we have images. Under the images, what is the? So it is this icon moon light. So this is the one we need. So this is the light. The one by this side is the light, and the one by this side is the dark. So this is icon moon light SVG like this. So for the odds, we should say the light like that. And after it, we have that container at the center. So I'm going to have a div. So inside this div, I'm going to have the span. So this one should be button because it's something that is clickable. So it should be button. So this one that look like this custom is going to be button like that. And inside it, close the button. And inside it, we're going to have this span. Span is this white stuff that is going to be changing. So this thing is not even having anything inside it. It's just like this. Or you can just do it like this, but it's not having anything. Because it's just a box. Like that. So again, after this side, we have this image, which we need to move here. But this one now is going to be icon dark like this. So save. So we need to use this our components under the layout. So we place it here under this light and mode toggle like this. So it's going to be this. What did I call it? What was that? It is space frame mode toggle like this. So like that. So save it. Go back to the page. You have it there, but it's not going to, as you can see, we have them. No, no, this is not the icon. The icon too is changing. So which this thing is saying that the icon is changing. Anytime it is, let me check. The icon did not come out the way it's supposed to be. So let me see. Icon. Oh, they are of two types. Oh. There is one that is used inside dark. There is one that is used inside light. So that's what is going on there. So which means these two will be down. So I need to put it in a container. So these two will be down. These two will be down. So we need to put it in a container, but only one of them is going to show at the time. But how do you do that? It's just CSS based on the media, whatever stuff like that. So you are going to see that one. So here we have the div. We have this div here. So up here too, we are going to have the same thing. Copy it up. Then this one is going to be it's not going to be moon, it's going to be sun. So sun, but only one of them should show at the time, depending on whether we are dealing with light or dark mode. So let me move this thing to this side. Let's do the styling for it. So which one? So this is what we need to do now. We need to apply CSS. So you hide based on the mode that the thing is showing. So here now we need to apply. It's easier to do with Tailwind. You don't need JavaScript to do it. You determine whether you are in light or dark mode. So what we want to do is that this one is for the dark. So which means by default is going to be hidden. Hidden is how we used to display none. By default, don't show because that's the light. You can't say yeah now. Tailwind doesn't have this light selector because anything you do by default they are meant for light. But if you want to do anything more dark, you have to put. So by default, when you're in light, just hide it. But when you're in dark, then it's going to be blocked. When in dark mode, it will show. So for this one too, we just reverse it. So class name like that. So this one is going to display by default, but when it is in dark like this, it's going to be hidden. Notice I don't need to talk about the light because it's showing already. So there is no need of saying that it shows already. Save it now, only one of them will show. You can see that one is what is showing now. This one will not show. Because when it is a dark, it will display none. For this one, when it is light, it will not show. It's when it is in dark. And that's what we need to do for this that one here too. Like that. So the same thing that I did here is just what I will do for all that one too. So we don't need to start doing too much. If you want to do JavaScript, it's just waste of this thing. So the second one too, let's just pass the stuff like this. So save it, save, and you see that it's only one that we're going to have at the time. So the dark is this, and if you go back to the theme and change it back to light now, you see that that one too is switch. So go to the lights. Let me move it. Move to this side. Move now. So it's going to switch like that. But why am I saying it's too light? No, it's showing. It's just that it's too light. Let me see what is on the design. So where is it? As you can see that Figma 2 has switched to white. That's what they are doing too. They are checking your system. This no, the color is supposed to be this. So why is it not giving us that color? Let me see. The light version. What's the color code on it? Let me see the color code. Where is the color? Yeah, it is FFM. It will not show. Let me see the color I think mine is using when it is light. Where is the field? Can you see the color are different? So that's why it's like that. So we need to use this color. So you can just copy the color, which means the person that saved the stuff. I don't know what they saved. Let me go to the light one. I think that the light one is one that, yeah, that one is using white. And I think maybe we are the one that made mistake with. Let me check that the dark one. Let me see the color that is. Yeah, we are the one that we made. It is reverse. So the one that is actually showing dark is what we need to show on the light. The one that is showing that is named as light is what we need to so that it can come outside the way. That's why I see that it's fade. That one too fade out. So here we need to switch the class. So this one should come down and this one should go up. The same thing here too. So the class should change. This is what we just need to change. We don't need to do anything. It's just that we need to reverse the stuff. So the one that have light, this dark now supposed to show for light, and this one that is light supposed to show for dark. So they reverse the stuff. The naming is reversed. So that's where the problem is coming from. So it's the naming problem. Can you see now? Like now work. So now if you go back there and change the stuff to dark now, then that one too. So on the dark we use white. On the light we use black. So it's just the naming stuff that make the mistake there. So it's the naming stuff. So now what do we need to do again? What is time? Come on, we have 4 minutes left. So what we just need to do, I can just close this one. I don't need that's how I group them like that. So we don't need it again. So this one we don't need it again because they have been done. So this one we need to know they need to be side by side. So now you know how to display flex. So you know we just need to use why this thing change my keyboard? So we need to flex items center. So gap that you normally use is still known as gap here too. So gap I want to apply there is this 0.5. So it does this too. So save it. It's going to apply that gap. But I think that header supposed to have space, but for now, let's forget about it. So this one is to move them side by side, but this gap is too small. I don't think it's, let me use this three. It will add more gap there. So item center. So this button now. So we need to class. If you look at the background, then so the width should be. Let me just strike 10. The height should be around 5. So BG should be that our R purple. So save like this. So because I want to create that. No, there is nothing inside it. You have to force the height and width so that I can show. But I think this height is too small. Let me give it the same 10 and 8. But instead of me doing this, I can actually go to Figma. So click on the stuff, you see the height and width. As you can see, click on the box. Can you see the height is 48? The width is 48, the height is 28 pixels. So which means here now, the height, the width I'm using is 40. But that one is saying it is 28. So which means I'm using more than. So yeah, thing will actually allow us to apply some random value if it's not part of the system. Whatever you are using is not part of the system, you can put the square bracket and you pass the value that you want to use like that. So what's this one saying here? This is 48. What am I using? I think I'm using 40. So I need to increase the value. So this is 40. Let me say 12. Let me see 12. What is the value 12? Because that value is part of tailwind system. So that's it, 48. So for the height, it is 28. So what am I using for the height? I'm using 32. So it should be around that 7. Or yeah, so as you can see. Because they are part of the tailwind system. So now save, it should give us the same height and width as this one. But don't forget, it have a radius. Can you see they just add some random value so that it can look like a curve. So we do how do you do random stuff in Tailwind? It's kind of like easier to do like that. So to do something, you just use rounded. So this is how to round something. So rounded. This is not going to give you border. Can you see that? None, you don't want anything small. It will give you another 4 pixels, I think. So there are 2 pixels. And medium is this 6 pixels. Large 8 pixels. So full, can you see? See that it's value that see that these people follow the tailwind system. So that's why if you work with a designer that know what they are doing, they always follow a particular design system. So when you now get to that system, whatever you are using is already there. You are not doing any work like that. So save, we have it. So now we need to do the circle one that is inside. So this one too, we're going to give it. Let me go and look at the item. See, the working with Figma, you don't need to start using your head to just click on the element. So it's just 20 by 20. So that's what we need to use. So for this one, the age 20 should be around that 9. What's that? No, 7 is 24. So 6, yeah, 7 is 5. Yeah, so it's 5. Age 5, W5. Then this one rounded full like that because we want it to turn into circle. And BG should be white. Then we has white already, so that's why we did not save it. So, but this thing needs to be moving around in its parents using absolute or depending on the state. By default now, it should be where is it? Oh, it is span. The span is actually crazy. So we need to display it as a block because the span is inline. I think that's what is making it. Yeah, because it is inline, so it does not want to come outside. So we need to make it block. But it doesn't have anything. Before you can give it width and height, it must be a block element. Or you say flex, anything that is not in line, it will work. But now I think there is a space on the left and right. So we can apply our PX, which is padding left and right. So one, this is around that 4 pixels. It will just shift it a point on the left, it's on the right. So what we need to do here now is that we need to display this thing as flex, which is going to be flex. Then we need to item center. So based on which one that we're working, this thing can, flex and move something on the left and can move something to the right. So what we need to do here is that if we are in light mode, the thing is that's the default stuff. But when it is in dark mode, we want this thing to justify end. So when it is light mode, justify end. But this thing will only be happening when you are clicking on the button. So we're going to add, I think we can even add it right now. So cons states like this, set states like that, which is going to be use states like this. So by default, it's going to be light, but you can change to dark like this. So what I want to do, so we need to condition the style, and since we want to condition the style, we can't be using it like this. We need to use backtick. So you need to use backtick so that you can include JavaScript stuff. So use this backtick like this. And why do I need to do it? I want to condition whether to show this justify end or not. So if the state is light, we don't want to see this thing. But if it's not light, then we want to see it. And how do I do it? So inside this place now, I want to use my state. So if the state is the same thing as light, nothing should happen. So nothing should happen. But if it is not, then we want to justify to the end. So we need to set the state anytime you click on the button. And what the button is going to do is just going to toggle the stuff. So we need to create a function here. So toggle like this. So toggle like this. And what is it going to do? What it's going to do is just to set states. So get whatever that is there before and just negate it. No, we are not negating. So we need to check. I am not using boolean. I'm not using boolean, so that will not work. So what I need to do here is that if states is the same thing as light, not that I want to. So set states is going to be dark like this. S set states is going to be light because those are the only values that we have. So but that's why it is toggle. It's changing between two values. So that's why it is called toggle. Then on the button, we need to add it. So on the button, we have this on click, come aside. On click, what do we want to do? We want to toggle. Don't forget you are not to call your class. And you are not to call your function. It's this thing that we call it. So save now. By default, it is there. But now if you click on it, it will keep toggling the stuff like that. But the thing is not smooth. But if you want it to smooth, you can use absolute positioning. That will be changing the width of the stuff, or you'll be changing the left or the right of the element. But right now, as you can see, we already have our toggle, but we need to add the functionality later on. We don't use UI like this. So to keep switching based on where it's supposed to be. So that will be all.